welcome to Freedom Hub's Health Biz and Politics show, where we feature innovators and disruptors who are working to deliver more effective and affordable healthcare, patient-centered healthcare, something conventional medicine, the cartel-driven monopoly kind of has lost sight of. I'm Jim Graypeck. I'm joined by my co-host, Charles Froman. And let me start with a few housekeeping chores, if you will, if you're kind of new to the show. I will do a screen share and show you our website. All right, so our website is your-mp.com. MP stands for Marketplace, your marketplace for health, wealth, and freedom, which we are all working very hard at right now. And if you go over to your media hub, click on that, and you will see the shows we have, our Wednesday Health Biz show and our Thursday Freedom Hub show, which is a much broader look at what's happening in our world today, more disruptors and so on. We do have the Buy Us a Coffee if you're so inclined. This is a volunteer effort. Thank you. Scrolling down, you will see who we have speaking, the topics for the week. Below that, who's coming up. And then we have Health Biz and Politics and Freedom Hub on these social media platforms for the videos that we post a couple of days later. So you've got BitChute. You can find us on BitChute, Brighteon, YouTube sometimes. Today's might make YouTube, I think, Charlie. I think we can get Pam out there safely. And Rumble. So with that, let me close this down, stop the screen share, and turn it over to you.
Let me share real quick my screen to give context for today's show. And what I'm going to show is start screen and your MP. And under your health at your-MP, we have today's sponsor, Pamela Nygaard. And the reason that Freedom Hub is sponsoring Genexy is we go way back with Genexy before it was called Genexy, when it was just the AI functional assessment invented by Joe Pizzorno from Bastyr University, a famous naturopathic college for medicine, and Dr. Charles Benz, the late Dr. Benz, who was so high on this type of assessment for what we consider the real epidemic in this country and all the West, but especially here, and that is chronic disease. And our brokerage that I work at incorporated this assessment, at least for a while, and now it's promoted here at Freedom Hub. And the reason so many folks are promoting it is because it gives you a health score based on analysis of your blood DNA and, very important, local environmental insults, toxins. And getting that score for yourself from that assessment, you're able to take control of your behavior and improve your score and not be so beholden to pharma and other interventions that may be good for symptom control, but not very good for root cause analysis. And Pam has taken this assessment to the next level at Genexy, as you can see here on our site at your-mp.com/your-health. And this is where you can click to learn more. And I'll stop my share there because it's an assessment that is always growing as we work with employers and doctors to make it really functional, no pun intended, with the patients. So Pam, welcome back. How is Genexy doing?
Oh my goodness, it's so exciting. It's incredible. I'm actually very excited to unveil some new capabilities that we've recently added, and in fact are literally still in the process of integrating all the features. So I may give you guys a couple of sneak peeks and also current state. So we'll go back and forth between the two. I'll do a quick screen share as well, just because visuals are helpful, and may not be like the most perfect way to share, but I just want to make sure you guys can see my little presentation, just so you have some visuals for you. I'm going to switch back and forth. So personalized medicine is really what we're focused on. Well, that is, and it's an absolute game changer, right? I mean, up until this point, most medications have been tested, a majority on males, and they don't take into account nationality, body size, gender, or all the things that impact our health. So really, the future of medicine is truly in personalization. The problem is there's a lot of information and there's a lot of detail when it comes to that. So what Genexy aims to do is create personalized medicine that takes a look at a personal health assessment. So that's where we start, just a Q&A. Tell us a little bit about your lifestyle. Tell us about what you like to eat. Do you work out? And literally, it's not just do you work out? It's, do you do resistance training? Do you do weight training? Do you do cardio? Or is it flexibility? Because those things are a little bit different. And I'll have flexibility impacts the joints, whereas weight training is going to impact the muscle and some longevity, where cardio is more heart health. So it's important to know what type of activity you do, not just do you do activity. We also incorporate blood work. So if you have regular blood testing, like your A1C, cholesterol levels, and the more common things, or perhaps your doctor digs a little deeper and you go to vitamin D or B12, or maybe some inflammation markers, we can take that, throw that into the tool, including your DNA. So if you've done a 23andMe, we can upload those, what's called SNPs, into the system and find out which ones are turned on, which ones are turned off, how they're impacting you. Or we can provide a DNA test that, to us, it's important that you have the ability to protect your own data and not have it shared with anyone else, or have your DNA not used for future research or whatever else it might be used for. So we have some very key partners that will help us with that. But it's also helpful as an individual to see where your DNA is and find out how it's impacting your life right now. I'll give you a quick example on that one. There's one of our spouses of one of our key scientific partners, and everyone in her family all of the females had passed away from osteoporosis. And when she went and did her DNA test, she found out that there are 4 SNPs that relate to regulating vitamin D. And she found that all 4 were not functioning properly. And so consequently, her body could not upregulate and absorb the vitamin D appropriately. And that is why everyone in her family had problem with bone density, osteoporosis, and had literally caused their demise. And so she figured out how to reverse that damage and also increase vitamin D along with some vitamin K, balance it with the calcium, and has rebuilt her bone density. So just powerful, just understanding that some people have, their body just isn't functioning in certain ways. We can help understand it and teach people how to reverse that of their own accord. And then the report that we provide also looks at environmental toxins. It looks at your lifestyle factors and makes recommendations for your treatment plan. Nice part is you can take it to your doctor, or you can take action on it yourself. Whoops, skipping ahead. There we go. That is not sitting still. There. No, it's just not going to do that. Sorry, I'm trying to reverse out of this here so that we can get this screen working. It's a new tool. And clearly it hops around. So talking a little bit about environmental toxins, when I dug a little bit deeper into it, a lot of times, one of the things that the tool assesses and looks at is arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury. And what we know is that these environmental toxins are actually the number 1 cause for chronic disease. And when I mention that, most people go, "Oh, no, I don't have any of these. I don't have any heavy metal toxins. I just, I don't have that. And so it was just kind of fun. I know no one here on this podcast would ever eat box cereal or have any of their children or grandchildren. They don't know anyone that eats any cold cereal. But it was just fascinating to me that I found a study that showed, and by the way, this screen goes, pages and pages and pages long, of all the cold cereals and how many toxins and heavy metals were found inside of each of these cold cereals. It's just astounding. And we also, the Genexy tool assesses your environmental toxins, both air and water, by zip code. And I was talking with someone the other day, and they had 13 toxins in their water that were above a healthy limit. And even though a lot of times we filter out our drinking water, we don't think to put a filter on our shower water or, washing our hands or anything else. And our body absorbs water at all times when we're doing that. And sometimes the toxins can build up that way. So kind of what's new and exciting with Genexy is we are continuing to expand what our capabilities are. And this I'm so excited about. So one of the things that we have done is we have incorporated what we call the health genie, because, everybody needs a little help to master their health. And so what we have done now is we have taken our Genexy AI tool and added on some personalized solutions, such as getting some personalized health diet plans. So if you're someone that maybe burns carbs better than burns proteins, and whether it's your blood type or the way your body functions, the typical, say, keto diet just doesn't work for you, our tool has the ability to create a custom plan design for you. And then even with that custom plan design, pull out things where you go, I just don't love strawberries. And gosh, it seems like, quinoa just doesn't set well with me. So we can remove those from your diet plan and then recreate it so that your macros, your nutritional goals are all met, and that you can have something to follow that fits your lifestyle and your particular body. The other thing is we have added the ability to not only incorporate your blood test, maybe that you already have, but maybe you're one of those people that wants to take control of your health and you want to make sure that what you're doing is working. So we give you the ability to request blood test on your own behalf. So we know, as an example, the A1C and cholesterol levels should be monitored. And we believe that you should have the ability to check it more than once a year, your annual physical. So if you are a person that says, gosh, let's see if my change in diet and my supplements or my medication is working, you have the ability to check your A1C or some of your cholesterol levels at your leisure. And we also make it very financially feasible to do that. So we'll just say for maybe $20, $30, you'll be able to say, yeah, let's make sure what I'm doing is working, and let's monitor your own health. Plus, we provide a graph so you can see if it's trending in the right direction. Visual tools are so helpful. So we combine that health score with the visual tools of tracking and a customized diet plan. And now you have the ability to master your health all in one place. So that's kind of some exciting stuff that we've got. I wanted to make it kind of fun and a little interactive today. So if anybody wants to either, let me see if we can take a look at the chat or come off mute. But okay, so when we talk about essential nutrients, first one, does anybody know what essential nutrient, and it's not even the most common, it's not in the real top 20, that has the ability to slow aging, reverse the graying hair. And this is one of the things that I've been looking around going, gosh, a lot of people are graying, myself included, drives me crazy. I thought, what is it that can reverse aging, help with skin texture, with lines, and also reverse retina damage? Does anybody know what this nutrient is?
Come on, folks.
I guess. Anybody wait? This one's a little tough one. I have to admit, I went with a little unusual one first. All right, I will tell you, this one is copper. Oh,
Jane got it.
Oh, Jane, you're awesome. Good job. Yeah, right. It kind of seems like, well, that's sort of an unusual thing. But the problem is that our bodies are not getting the copper from our foods that it normally gets, and it's just a trace amount. It's just a minor bit. But if you look around and you're looking at how people seem to be like the graying hair, it actually copper is directly related to the pigment in your hair. All right, second one. This one, I know you guys will get this one. This one's fairly common. Maybe you'll learn a little bit more of a benefit that it provides. But okay, so this one in particular, if you want to boost your antioxidant, enhance your immune system, boost your brain function, it actually increases your energy. So it's amazing to throw in your morning coffee. And it also balances your blood sugar. What is it? And there's a couple hints. You can put it in your oatmeal, your yogurt, throw it on your toast with maybe, I don't want to put it with sugar on your toast, but that one's a real common thing that people do. But it's a great one to throw on your coffee. Any guesses which this one is?
Cinnamon?
Yes, exactly right. Right? Cinnamon is amazing. And if you throw it in your morning coffee, it'll actually increase your body's ability to metabolize the caffeine and give you a little bit greater boost, plus enhancing your brain and your immune system. So amazing, amazing one. And then if you can see, it looks like my last one went off the screen just a smidge, but this one is a combination of two things that have been shown to impact mental health. So again, I look around in society and I think, what is it that is going on when it comes to mental health issues that so many people are struggling with right now? Like they're calling it the new epidemic across the country. But the mental health issues between Asperger's, bipolar disease, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, depression, these two things have been found to link directly to mental health issues. Anybody know what either one is? You don't want to wager a guess?
What exacerbates it or what cures it?
Two nutrients that are found to be depleted when any of these mental health issues are coming up.
Magnesium?
Ooh, great guess. It is not that one. I'll give you the harder one, and that would be zinc. Zinc is one of them that has been found to be depleted with people with some mental health issues. And what's also interesting is if you have zinc that's depleted, zinc is one that's really key for your immune system, but also, oh, great guess, Sharon. Niacin, yes, B6. B6 and zinc are the two keys when it comes to mental health. And there's actually, you can do a blood test to find out if those are out of balance in your body, and talk about simple ways to help boost your body and help balance out your mental health issues by just knowing what it is that needs to be changed. So those are kind of, I just wanted to share some fun little facts, give you a quick update on what Genexy is all about and what we're doing. And then I have an ask for the audience today. And I am going to share my screen once more. And just because I know everyone here is incredibly well connected and you are passionate about helping business owners as much as we are. So for those of you who may not know my background, I was an insider inside of the two largest health insurance companies in the nation. And as a business manager, I got to peek behind the curtain, really see what drives costs, what is happening from an employer level, how the cost shift and consumer-directed healthcare is impacting employees. And really my passion to create Genexy came from the angst and the frustration that I saw with this, double-digit rate increases in inflationary measures that have been happening for the last 20 years in health insurance. I mean, it's really to the point where as I worked with underwriters and as I would underwrite cases and look at claims, claims costs have been inflating at roughly 1% per month for the last 15 years. And, here's in America, we're kind of a little stressed out and worried about a 6% inflationary rate across all things. You take and double that and put it on healthcare and know that that's been happening for over a decade. And now we understand why this has become such a problem. And there's no slowing of this trajectory. In fact, COVID might have lessened it a little bit. All the news reports are coming out saying, boy, the inflation is back and it's worse than ever. So for myself and for listeners here, if anyone knows of more of the self-funded employers that just want a little bit of help, now we all know that Charles has some amazing resources and tools and a lot of the different things that are being offered and have available here. For if there are some mid-sized or large corporations that are currently self-funded, we are offering a service where we will analyze the self-funded employer's claims to identify and even reverse inaccuracies, misspent claims dollars, or contractual issues. A lot of times people will maybe rely on their third-party administrator. They're just running off of auto-adjudicated claims. They're just running off a contract, and that there's usually kind of no one watching the hen house, if you will. The brokers, oftentimes, they're more incentivized, some brokers, to have an increase in your claims cost because that means that their commission is a little bit higher, or they cannot risk maybe risking the relationship with the insurance carrier. And so sometimes it makes sense to have a non-biased third party like ourselves come in and just take a look at the claims dollars, take a look at the spend. And we have a few tools we have many tools at our resources that we can reverse the inaccuracies, reverse some claim dollars, and actually provide tangible savings and actionable insights to create some help for business owners. And so what we do first is we come in and we analyze the historical claims data, identify what's going on, and then make sure that future billing is correct. Then we can reverse things that we know are not correct and recover some of those funds back and supplement the budget. And it's not just for employers, it could be for the employees as well. And then we provide employers with a detailed report of their savings. I'll give you a quick anecdotal study. So we have one employer on the East Coast, fantastic construction company, came to us because they had received a 40% rate increase. And they're not a huge company. And in fact, one of their divisions was still still fully insured. And so in the first year, we took their 40% rate increase down to 15. And then after we implemented Genexy and our blood work savings, the following year, their rate increase was 7%. So we have taken a 40 down to 15, which I was not very happy about. Now we've dropped it down into single digits. And it has been an absolute game changer for these employees and for the company's bottom line. However, the biggest aspect that I just had the opportunity to celebrate with the business owner was that of all of the divisions across the company, there was one that had, for the last 18 years, just barely broke even and had not been a successful, financially successful company. It drove to all the other divisions, but it just had not done well. And last year was the first time in 18 years that this company not only did more than break even, but was incredibly profitable. And they attribute the increase in productivity, the buy-in from the employees, and the increase in health from what we achieved in order to make that possible. So all their divisions were profitable last year, and we cut their rate increases and enhanced their benefit plan. So for those employers out there that are just thinking it's impossible and they just have to, budget these double digits every year, those of you who are listening to this podcast know you're in the right spot. And we're also offering mid-size employers an opportunity to take a look at their claims and really make a difference. So with that, I will stop sharing and open it up, see if there are any questions.
Thank you.
Is that on your website, this service?
It is not, because of the Genexy is just the artificial intelligence and the specialized tool. But I will go ahead, especially for Freedom Hub listeners and for you guys, I'll create a specific spot that people can provide some information to us, and we can take a look at them and see if it's something that we can help with.
Got it.
Yeah.
Charles.
Thank you. And folks, just find the raise hand icon to ask your question. Are you able to share screen to show Genexy how it works, Pam?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get that screen up and I will show you. Always happy to show how Genexy works. Let me log in. And actually, I will also show you. I'll do a quick little screen share for starters. Cursor back here. And show you just a glimpse of the new innovation that we've got. And this is the Health Genie to help you master your health. This is, as you can tell, Sally Sample. She's 5'7", 51 years old, weighs 135 pounds, and has a nice, healthy 21 BMI. But what's nice is you can kind of see on the screen in one simple glance of, we've got a supplement regime. She takes a little CLA, DHEA with breakfast, and maybe she's got some vitamin D that she takes with a larger meal at lunch. And then she's tracking her weight. But what's really nice about this is any notes and communications, maybe previous doctor's notes that Sally wants to capture and take a hold of, she can keep. Any of her complaints, diagnoses, or challenges, she can hold over here. And what's really powerful about this is meant to be your personalized health hub that you can hold on to any, issues, complaints. I mean, this would be a great spot to say, Sally maybe had surgery at age 35. She had a broken bone at age 42, had a heavy dose of antibiotics because of a major autoimmune disease at a certain age. This would be a great place to hold that. And then when maybe seeking healthcare at a new physician or going to a new doctor's office, she can share this with them and say, hey, here's my entire health history. This is what I've been taking. If she's been tracking her diet, it's going to be right there. If there's lab results, she can take a look at that as well. The doctor can see immediately, okay, these are the supplements you're on and how many tablets and what type of milligrams. All of this is in one nice, easy spot. And honestly, this came up partly because my parents, family and your own personal needs is always your driver, right? And my parents starting to have some health issues here and there and kind of trying to manage it all. And they get referred to a new doctor, and maybe the cardiologist needs to know what the primary care physician has done, and they're not getting the notes fast enough. So this was a way to help not only the doctors understand what the healthcare looks like, but also see what for my parents and for any individual to see what they're focused on, and then they can set up their own reminders too. So maybe they want a text message at noon as they're about the time they're eating lunch to say, hey, don't forget your vitamin D. Or maybe they want to say, oh, don't forget to drink water midday in order to help with their health a little bit more. So that was one of the goals in the Health Genie and providing that functionality. But when we look at, and then we combine that with the power of Genexy, then, and I will share this screen with you. Cursor go. Let's get that up. So now we've got Genexy, and this is our total care approach. And that total is just a fantastic acronym to say, take the assessment, order your blood work, your genomics test, or upload it if you already have it. Remember to take your supplements, assess your toxins. This is really, really, really key. People don't even realize how many things are in your environment, and then live your best life. So when we get into Genexy itself, and this is a sample person that we have already uploaded and has taken it, but they have right here on the top of the screen, you've got your health score, how far into the assessment you've gotten, whether they've ordered blood work or received it and it's been uploaded into the system, and then whether they've ordered genomics and received the information back. But here we have the assessment over here, and I'm gonna jump to the next page because based on what I'm saying, I know that we had this Sally sample here have a heart attack recently, so I'm gonna fix a couple things in the assessment. But you can tell because the cardiovascular system is red in our interactive person over here. Neurological, they're doing great, which means that, you know, the nerves, the brain, etc., the respiratory system is good, but starting to have some other issues in the immune detox system. That's why I'm skipping ahead a little bit so we can take a look at it. But what I think is really critical, and you're seeing just so the really key health issues that we're looking for. But for someone who says, you know, do you have arthritis or joint pain, or maybe something like, do you have asthma? And if as an individual they click yes, we have the smart technology that says, okay, let's dig in a little bit deeper to that, and says, do you have atrophic gastritis? Do you have exercise-induced asthma? Do you have heartburn? Do you have allergic rhinitis? Do you have allergies? And if at any point in time you go, well, gosh, what exactly is that? You can just click on it for a better definition. And sorry, it's probably a little bit small on your screen. But it's just some definitions, some studies that back up what it's all about. And it says, you know, currently your question has answered no, but 20% of the population has this issue. And so if you're going through and you're saying, well, gosh, yes, I have allergies. Does your asthma get worse when you take aspirin? Now, I don't know about you guys, but every time I go through this type of assessment, or you get kind of a random question and you think, how is aspirin related to asthma? And it's just fascinating to me how, you know, we don't always put these connections together. But aspirin can make some asthma conditions a little bit worse. And then we want to know, hey, if you have a Rusk inhaler, are you using it more than 2 times a week? Say, okay, so we just answered yes to both of those, save and continue. And it'll add to our overall AI knowledge, incorporate it, and update the score. And then we've got other questions as you go through. Do you have irritable bowel syndrome or kidney failure, migraine headaches? And maybe if we click yes on that, we're going to have a little pop-up box that says, wait, tell us a little bit more, because we are looking for the root cause. We're not looking for just, do you have a symptom? We are looking for what is the root cause of your migraine headaches. And so interestingly enough, this is related back to asthma or similar questions. Now we're looking, do you have asthma? Well, yes. And you notice it's already checked yes, because we checked yes in the previous box. This says, okay, we already know that we have allergies, we have asthma. So now tell me, does your vision change preceding your headache? We had a client that said, oh my gosh, I never realized that was indicative of a migraine headache coming on. And in fact, actually, it was this one, the involuntary or compulsive yawning. And they said, yeah, as a matter of fact, prior to me getting a migraine, usually several hours in advance, I'll start involuntarily yawning, and had never connected the dots before. And so what's interesting is we're asking this to say, okay, if yawning is triggering your migraine headaches, there's a reason, there's a root cause that's happening. And then of course we want to know, do you have sensitivity to sound or light? Is it aggravated by routine activity or not? So, you know, all these are just, and down here we've got we're asking a little bit about if you have your DNA test, do you know about your SNPs, if those are indicating that and are either activated or turned off, which could be triggering your headaches as well. And so then we save and close. And now the tool is going to not only update your health score, it's also it behind the scenes, it just updated the recommendations, and it's looking at root cause, saying, okay, now we're getting a better picture of what's going on with your asthma and your migraine headaches, and we can reverse the symptoms a little bit better. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit and jump over to, obviously we've got labs. If you have blood work, you can upload that, or you can order it there, because as you know, we're all about empowering the individual to say, if you want a wellness test, you know, laboratory testing, that's about a $650 value that we've got for $150. Super appreciate our lab partners that are helping us do that. And then the next tab over is your medications tab. This has been a multi-million-dollar project that we continue to add all the time, new drug classifications. So what you may or may not know is that a lot of medications that have side effects are caused by the mechanism in which they work in the body. For example, if a medication helps balance out blood sugars, and I'm not going to name any names, I'm just using this as an example, oftentimes it draws from other stores in the body in order to make that happen. And so there is a medication in particular that will balance out the blood sugar, but a side effect is usually depression. Well, when we dig into that, we go, oh, we see that the side effect is often caused by the medication depleting serotonin in your body. So if we can encourage you to take a serotonin supplement or DHEA as your precursor, we can head off that side effect. And by the way, a depressed diabetic is 8 times more expensive than just a diabetic who is happy and mentally healthy. So we know that just that one little change can make a huge difference in your finances and your overall outcome. And you can see, and this might be why the little guy over here said, yeah, we know we've got cardiovascular issues because this person is currently taking Lipitor. And maybe they're taking, I don't know, maybe we've got some Hepcid AC in there as well. So now the tool says, oh, okay, so we're pretty sure we've got some acid reflux and things like that going on. And then we say save and continue. So now this is the last piece of magic that happens in the tool, and that is our AI questions. Now, these change for every single person and every time something is answered. First, I want to direct your attention over here to the digestive just changed red, because we said, yep, we're taking Pepcid. So we go, oh, red is highly probable we've got a dysfunction in your digestive system. Great. Let's figure out how to get to the root cause of that. So over here, we've got just the AI tool is saying, we're going to dig deeper, make sure we've got the right root cause and can help you reverse it or manage those symptoms. Our goal is always to see if we can reverse it and help your body get to optimum health. So we're asking, do you have throbbing or pulsating headaches in addition to the migraine headaches? Have you had a blood test showing elevated levels of PPDDE? Now, I'll just be honest, I have no idea what that is. I'm not that smart. But we can always look at this and say, oh, okay, so now this is, this in particular is organochloride pesticide, DDT. So the tool is now suspecting that you have had some exposure to a pesticide, and that's a toxin that it is identified that is causing either the acid reflux, the heart issues, or some of the migraine headaches. And so you can just go through and answer as many or as few as you want. Here's an interesting one, beef intake. So the tool is saying, okay, tell me a little bit about your beef intake. Clearly, we know that there are pesticides in some of the beef. We also know that there are other issues that could be causing some of the symptoms that we've got from the acid buildup, et cetera. So it's always fascinating to see what questions the tool comes up with. But then when we hit save and finish, you'll get your outcome report. And this is meant to be sort of the summarized drill down of what the tool has figured out to be root score. Okay, so what are you doing well is we've got some exercise in there. We've got normal cholesterol, some areas for risk. Apparently this, Sally has said there's some weight gain, some fatigue. The tool is saying, gosh, we think that wheat might be triggering some of your headaches, maybe some of your acid reflux. We've got some issues there. And then this just grapefruit juice, if you're taking Lipitor, that's going to be a key one. So we're going to make sure that there's no contraindications with medications that you're taking, because as you know, properly prescribed medication is the 4th leading cause of death in America. And so we want to make sure that you're not creating anything that's going to create an interaction or a negative drawback to a medication you're currently taking. And there's a couple, because we've got the statin medications in there. Statins and niacin have red yeast rice. And then we're going to give you a personalized supplement plan. And coming soon, we are actually working to create this high quality supplement for you in particular. Some lifestyle recommendations, some food changes, potential diet plans that might work better for you. And then we go into some toxins. And Genexy is the only tool out there that has the ability to identify and help reverse toxins in your environment. And it is amazing how many are out there and how unaware we can be until you start to look at it and say, oh, okay, well, I guess I could see where arsenic might be getting my diet. I eat rice. Great. Let us help you find and source rice or even quinoa from a safer source. As an example, randomly, the rice out of Texas has a much higher arsenic content than rice grown out of California. What a minor piece of information to know, but can make a huge impact on your health. This obviously because there's some health issues with this particular sample person, some BPAs, some bisphenols, how to reduce exposure to the DTT. We talked about that a little bit ago. So just really actionable advice. All of these can be clicked on and you can read more if you want to find out where it might be coming from, why the tool thinks that that you've got this going on in your body. We've got some insomnia, perhaps some other things that the tool has identified with percentage accuracy. And then this is where we say, okay, what can you do today to help take the next step to optimizing your health? Are you going to order a supplement that we requested? Are you going to take a look at some of your toxins and change a lifestyle habit? What are you going to do in order to control your own health and increase your longevity? So that's what the goal of the tool is, to help. All right. I'm going to go back. I see some chats coming up. I see some hand raises. I love that. So I'll stop sharing so I can see everybody and open the floor up for that.
Jim,
Yeah,
do you
let's
mind if
start,
I
I
ask a
think,
question?
I'm sorry?
Do you mind if I ask a question, or you want to say something?
No, I was gonna go ahead.
How do you interact, Pam, with doctors to get them using this assessment, not just incorporating it in employer plans to help them, empower their workers?
Oh man, I love that. So I will tell you that the tool itself was built by doctors for other doctors. That was the original intent. And what they found is some resistance with some providers. Now, this was a number of years ago. As we have started to incorporate this and add it to employer plans and empower the individuals, thankfully, some of our users have gone back to the doctor and said, hey, have you seen this? And then incredible organizations such as you guys have amazing reach. And we have had doctors reach out to us and say, we want to build this as a foundation of our entire practice. How can we do that? And honestly, that was some of the impetus for the Health Genie, is to put it all in one place so that people can access it easier. So what we have built is a practitioner portal so that practitioners can have their patients go through the assessment either at home or with them. And oftentimes we encourage practitioners to go through it with a patient, because you'll see someone kind of hesitate over a question or go, it opens the dialogue and creates this rich conversation about, well, I did have this, but I don't really know. Oh my gosh, practitioners have said they've got so much more information from doing it with their patients. And then our practitioner portal is much more accurate as far as the number of milligrams that we recommend of certain supplements. It also will reference the studies that prove what is going on with that particular person. And then we also give the practitioner, like, these are the questions that they've answered yes to, and this is the risk and disease risks that they have. So we are now partnering with more and more physicians. Thankfully, it is more functional medicine and integrative physicians that understand the risks of environmental toxins and nutrient deficiencies and are working hard to reverse the cause of disease. The other piece that we are grateful for is, as we work with more and more employees, they want a provider, they want a physician, they want a practitioner they can talk to about this and say, hey, I have this amazing information. Can I work with somebody that can help me through these steps? And that is why we are even more grateful to work with practitioners that understand the toxins, that understand deficiencies, and are partnering up with us to say, now we can connect the two and expand the reach and really optimize health in a more meaningful way. Yeah, great question.
Okay, let's go, Linda.
Yes, because the environment has more effect on our health than our genes, I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Do you have a method to evaluate or include the following factors like social isolation or loneliness, amount of EMF radiation, a level of grounding, or possibility to take advantage of your services without having the need to have a cell phone or wearable, like to just to walk in?
Right. Great questions, Linda. Thanks for asking. So I will tell you at this point in time, we do not incorporate any questions or intelligence, I should say, or logic behind social interaction, grounding, earthing, or EMF, just because it's a little bit more difficult to measure and nebulous. And so we try to be very scientific in the questions and the logic behind it. So as soon as we have the ability to either measure EMF or the time amount of grounding, then we'll be able to add some logic to it. But at this point, we don't incorporate those. However, we have the tool is available just online. So I imagine that you're probably watching this podcast right now on your computer. And our tool is available just online. So you can access it on your computer, and just like you would any other website, which is great. And so you don't have to have a cell phone in order to do that. So thank you for asking that.
It's very important. I tell you something, it's very important. I will send you the link. Is a meta-analysis on 300,000 patients to find the root cause. And they found out that loneliness and no social interaction is the root cause, the number one factor. So please, you have methods to add in your profile, in your testing.
I appreciate that. I think social interaction definitely is, and I think it's been a huge driver to mental health.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's good point, Linda. Sharon.
Well, hi, great presentation. I was just wondering, I'm a traditional naturopath, and I was wondering what your requirements are for a practitioner to set up with an account, and if you offer like wholesaling prices to the practitioner, which they, can upcharge to their clients.
Yes, great question. We do have a practitioner partner program, and we don't have specific requirements for licensing, which is great. Because we have the licensed physicians on board, and that's who's created the tool. We even work with health coaches and trainers because we want this information out there. We want a more scientific and accurate approach to diagnosis. Our goal is really to help those that are coaching and helping and training people to be, I don't want to say logical, because I know they're doing a great job, but our goal is to get more scientific out there. For licensed practitioners, absolutely. We've got the tools, the specificity, and then also, of course, access to the blood work and DNA testing. So Sharon, if you want to connect with me offline, we also do have a wholesale program. And so happy to work with you on that one. And then, of course, depending on what state you're in as well, as we have, the employees and the customers in those states, now we have another partner to refer them back to that we know are using the tool and can more effectively support the employees that are using it. So I'd love to connect with you. Thank you.
And I have another question about the blood testing. Do you have a system where you can set up a phlebotomist to come to the client's home and draw the blood there?
Yep, we sure do.
Going out. Yeah, because I've been doing that with clients because we do, therapeutic phlebotomies with my clients often. And then we've been having trouble getting the phlebotomist to go to Quest. They won't accept the blood work and all of that kind of stuff. So
yes.
And also, why are you wearing a white coat?
It was, yeah, that's a great question. I didn't think about it trying to look like a doctor thing. It was
Okay,
because
cute.
I had a dark color shirt and I had a cute little colored
Oh,
skirt on.
thank you. I'm so
It was
glad to
later.
see it's just a cute jacket that matches.
Yeah, man, thank you. I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm a
just
big
have
fan
a
of
thing
white.
about
It's all,
that, and I think it's just more, homey and everything to have regular clothes. And I was thinking that was a regular jacket. Sorry,
Yeah.
Charles. It was a girl question.
I love that.
Charles, go ahead.
Let me ask you a macro question, getting this to scale with the doctors. So your precursor on this project, the late Dr. Charles Benz, presented on Freedom Hub early on 5 years ago, a fantastic Zoom that Jeff Cantor, if he's still on, I always rib him, he forgot to record it. So it's probably the best Zoom we ever did that never got recorded. He kind of reprised his comments in an integrated presentation with Ruth Lininger, who at Duchess Health was trying to insert integrated healthcare in self-funded plans with Duchess Health. We'll talk about this long-term goal. I'm sure you share, a lot of us share, how to use functional assessment in health plans and use of your assessment by doctors of all types, including naturopaths, to get organized with this functional medicine network that we all want. DPC has its advantages, with the time from the subscription monthly payment, where allopath doctors become more integrated because they have all this more time to deal with their chronic diseases. So we find them becoming more integrated because of the extra time, but they're not affirmatively trying to become integrated doctors at first. And so what hopes do you have that Genexy will play an important part in upgrading the entire market? We want to have better entry points, not just drug pushers.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. Man, you are just nailing our vision. My hope. If I were to say it was my moonshot, it really is. So the way I look at it, if I were to put myself in a physician's shoes, they've already gone through so many years of schooling, over a decade of schooling. They've worked so hard. They probably have still a significant amount of debt that they're working to pay off. And their passion is to help an individual have a better life and to get healthy. And I look at that and I go, man, how can I support that? How can I help them even better? And my thought is, if I'm a physician, I've gone to all this schooling, I feel like, okay, I know this stuff and I'm going to utilize it. And then new studies come out. And it has been proven that there are more new studies published on PubMed and New England Journal of Medicine every day that an individual would literally have to spend 20 hours a day just to stay on top of it, because there are so many published every day. So we have a prolific amount of new scientific discoveries. We have more information coming at us all the time. Genetic research alone is a new area of specialty. And then if you just look at the physiology of the body and what can throw off the pathways, and learning how to think through what might be incorrect, as opposed to just one thing is incorrect, so let's attack that. From my perspective, I look at it and go, if I were a physician, I would just want a bigger brain. And that is really what Genexy is a gigantic brain that can take medical textbooks, 50,000 medical journals is what's already loaded in it. And we're adding more all the time because some of these published studies are amazing. And to be real, some of them are awful. And it's difficult to weed those out and ignore those when the testing specifications are not good. Then you add to it all the new medications that are coming on the market. And as a physician, trying to know what they are and what their side effects are. And maybe some work better on men than women, maybe African American, it's not as effective. How do you know all this at a moment's notice? And then let's add to it, maybe your patients are asking about the impact of cannabis. And is this a viable option for them? And maybe they want to know about a peptide. So you just have all these aspects that, in my opinion, maybe it's just because I'm not smart enough, but my human brain cannot possibly hold all these facts together and then assimilate them fast enough when I'm speaking to somebody, right? And then you take a look at just the human interactive bias that we go, well, gosh, this worked for that person, so maybe this will work for you, and let's try this and move on. So really, my moonshot, my goal is to say, and because I'm continuing to add to Genexy as much as possible, this new technology, the new ideas, and I haven't even said all that's on the horizon here, but I did, cannabis would be an interesting area of study, the scientific journals on that. But to add into this is one gigantic brain and help physicians with better accuracy get to, hey, these things are going to help the best and the most. Let's start here and start working down the list rather than, well, let's throw a little here and let's try that. So we know that the Mayo Clinic has said 84% of their patients either have the wrong diagnosis or the wrong treatment, or both. And 84% is way too high. So our goal at Genexy is to say, let's give physicians and practitioners a faster path to get to a treatment plan, and then allow them to add the art of medicine, and that the fact that nothing will replace a human looking at another human and saying, you know, what looks like you're resistant to this, or let's try a little of that. But at least to take them from 0 to, 80% of the way with a tool like Genexy to help them get to a treatment plan faster, and then add the color and the art and everything else that it takes to really effectively practice medicine. So if we can create a network of physicians using this tool and providing us feedback like, hey, we need more of this, or we want this more information, or this functionality would be helpful. And then creating that health genie that empowers the individual to log thoughts, to track their progress. I mean, something as simple as, hey, how is your anxiety today? And match that up to a food log, or match that up to an activity log or a social log, and really see these patterns emerge. That's what we see Genexy being for all practitioners and all employees, users, members, etc. And we see that as kind of, we're just the center of a wheel that helps facilitate actual healing rather than symptom treatment. And that's our goal.
Yeah. Sounds like we need to build Genexy into the pavilion, Charles.
Yes, and let me share my screen one more time. So folks who want to access Genexy can remember that at the beginning, I mentioned that our website, your-mp.com, at your health tab, does in fact promote Genexy. So if you do want to learn more about Genexy, here is the link to click to do so. So from our website, whether you're a practitioner or employer or individual, and I'll stop to share there.
Click on it for a second. I was going to say, click on that link. You'll show where it takes them to.
You could, or scroll down, you'll see that it's for employers, for individuals, or doctors, practitioners.
That's for WOW. For the Genexy, I think
okay,
it's just here, this one thing.
And I'll even tell you, for those of you who want to sign up, do it quickly, because as of right now, it is under $100 to sign up. And with the new things that we're adding, like the Health Genie and the access to all the trackers and the custom diet plan, the price is about to go up. So if you want to experience it and try it, I highly encourage you to check it out as quick as possible and lock in that price. The $99 actually gives you access for an entire year, and anything that we add, all the new stuff gets added to you without an extra cost. So highly encourage you to sign up and check it out.
So we have come up at the top of the hour. Pam, how can people reach you? Or what's your website, so we have it, we've shown it, but any final words you want to share? Sure.
I'd love to hear from you. Any feedback, any other questions that pop up, anyone who would like to connect, easiest is Pamela, Pamela, at Genexy Health. And as you guys saw the link to go sign up, feel free to do that. And if you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. We appreciate it. So, and thank you very much for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. And I just, you guys help encourage me and spur us on to do great things in the world of medicine and health. So I appreciate it. Thanks for all you guys are doing.